All right, guys. So for the lift today, I did some power snatches, trying to move the bar at 2.8 peak velocity, 2.8 meters per second peak velocity. I was able to get above 225, so you'll see that. Quickly, two sponsors I want to give a shout out to. First one is Barbell Apparel. Every video, basically, Barbell Apparel shout out. They are going to have a sale coming up in September, the first week of September, so keep an eye out for that. And then the other one is Clean Chalk. So I got some new chalk, a sponsorship called Clean Chalk. Everyone gets their own chalk from wherever they want, but if you're in need of chalk, if you're running low on chalk, check out Clean Chalk. This is what I'm using now. It is actually a really nice chalk. It's ideal for like CrossFitters, weightlifters, gymnasts, rock climbers. They all use this stuff too. Basically, you really only have to apply it once or twice, and it's going to last you the entire session. So like when your hands get sweaty, the chalk does a good job of like keeping the moisture out of your hands. So yeah. Anyways, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you some food, because I get a lot of questions about food now. It's crazy. So I'm going to show you all of the chicken that I cooked up for prepping for lunches for this week that I did, and I'll show you what's in my freezer. And yeah, enjoy the video. I answered some questions in there, and see you next time. Okay, so with the power snatches here, I'm clustering them. So I'm doing sets of 2, but I'm just doing 1 rep, 20 to 30 second rest, another rep, then I'll take full recovery. My goal is to move every rep faster than 2.8. And if I'm consistently above 2.8 or significantly above 2.8, I'm gonna go up in weight. I moved that one at 3.07. That second rep was 3.07. The first rep was 2.81. So I'll probably do this one more time. And if again, I'm like significantly higher than 2.8, I'm gonna go up in weight. My back is kind of sore from deadlifts yesterday. I haven't done any conventional pulls in like, geez, it's August, since like late June, since before the 4th of July. So probably like 8 weeks. And my back is kind of cooked, and I didn't go that heavy. But I guess I did the isodynamic pulls, 3 sets of 8 to 10 seconds at 605. So I mean, that kind of cooks you, no matter how prepared you are for it, I guess. But yeah, I'll do this one more set. .86 there. So if I move this one like 2.86 again, I'm gonna go to 230. All right. 2.89. Yeah, let's go to 230 now. I'm gonna put the iPad here. That way I don't have to go as far to look at it. 3.06. Nice. Yeah, so I know I probably have some new followers, new subscribers watching this, so I'm not trying to move the bar like at a certain speed threshold in order to like create greater power adaptations. Even though there's some truth behind that, but no, the reason I'm doing it is just to stay fresh. Cooked myself with the deadlifts yesterday. Just want to stay fresh because I'm going to sprint tomorrow, so I don't want to overdo it. So it's good that I'm doing upper body today, and I'll sprint tomorrow. All right. 2.95. Let's go up to 235. All right, going to 235 here. Let's move it fast again. Move it well, crispy, powerful. Not a very good rep. 279. Okay, stay there. Really not too worried about standing up with the weight. I think I said that in a video, just not for like right now, because I'm really just trying to work on yeah, the concentric portion, the stimulus of it, not necessarily caring about technique with the Olympic lifts right now. Most of my cleans are powers. All of my snatches for this combine program are powers. 2.78. If anyone is wondering, I guess I'll just kind of address why I'm moving it at 2.8. And the reason is it's arbitrary. Really, it's because I want to snatch no less than 225. I just want to snatch 225 every day. I don't want to put anything less on the bar. So that first week, I put 225 on the bar. I noticed I was like somewhere between 2.72 on the low end to like the mid 2.8s on any given rep. So I was just like, well, let's just aim for 2.8, and if I can move 225 significantly faster than 2.8 meters per second, then I'll add weight. But I'm just going to stick with 225 as my kind of like baseline lowest weight that I'm going to use, and then I'll titrate up the weight if I can continuously move the bar faster. So that's how I came up with 2.8 meters per second. Ah! What was that? 2.79. 2.81 on the last rep. Good. So I'll just make this my starting weight next time. 235, because I was 2.79 rep 1, 2.81 rep 2. So, Russ! Hey! In! Sorry about that. Russ! Yeah, sorry, Russ is barking at some bikers. Yeah, I'll make 235. That'll be my rep or set number 1 next time I snatch. Try to go for 2.8 or faster. So I was asked why I do my Olympic lifts before I jump on one of the videos. Main reason is because right now for me, I just feel like it's more efficient. If you, one sec. If you Olympic lift and then you jump, you don't need as many warm-up sets for the jumps. You get warmed up with the Olympic lifts, but if you jump and then you Olympic lift, you have to warm up jumps and you have to warm up for the Olympic lifts, where like if you Olympic lift first, you warm up for the Olympic lifts, and you don't really have to warm up for the jumps. Like, that jump was really easy. I'll do a few warm-up jumps here, then I'll raise the hurdle. And then if this one feels really easy, I'll call it a warm-up jump. Yeah, I can add. So that's why I do the Olympic lifts first right now. But if I wasn't running this program, I was just on some other program or some other plan, doing jumps first is totally appropriate. Oh, nice. Feeling good on that last jump, and then I clipped it. I was gonna raise this thing, but I feel like I should get a couple more successful jumps here before I raise it up. All right, now let's raise it. Oh, there we go. Let's end on that one. Let's go bench. So moving on to bench press now. I got these new wrist wraps for bench press just a few weeks ago. I really like them. These are the Gym Reaper kind. But anyways, for the bench press, I got triples. I have 305 on the bar for my first set. Last week I did 325, but the warm-ups are just moving a little bit slower. So what I'm doing here with the VBT is I want my final rep to be somewhere between 0.35 and 0.45 today. My final rep. So if my final rep is faster than 0.45, I'm not counting it as a working set, and I'll add weight. If my final rep is below 0.35, I'm considering it a little too heavy, and I'm gonna take some weight off. First 2 reps, I don't really care. I'm assuming that the final rep, or yeah, you assume that the final rep of the set is gonna be your slowest rep. It's hard to do like multiple sets or multiple reps within a set at a certain speed. I guess you can do it for triples because you're gonna accrue fatigue after rep 1, rep 2, and then finally rep 3. But if you're gonna do like a set of 5, set of 6, and you want all of the reps to be in a certain velocity range, it's not gonna work very well. So I like to use that final rep of the set to be my kind of determining factor as far as whether or not it was an appropriate weight. All right, set 1. Yeah, 0.40 for that last rep. Do I eat tuna every day? Am I worried about his mercury levels? No. Sometimes I do go on a tuna kick where I'll eat tuna every day for like 4 or 5 days. I do a lot of meal prepping for my lunches since I eat lunch at home most of the time. So I put things in Tupperware. I'll show you today what I have. I got some chicken in Tupperware in my freezer. I'll show you today. No, I don't eat tuna every day. I do 2 cans of tuna, and that's I think each can is 20 grams of protein. So 2 cans of tuna, put a little bit of cottage cheese in there. That's an extra 12, 13 grams of protein. And you're covered for that, for your protein number for that meal. And then you put it in like a whole grain tortilla. You put it in some lefse, or you put it on like sourdough bread. You got your carbs. You need a little more carbs than that, but put some fruit. So tuna in a tortilla with some cottage cheese, some fruit, some lefse, and that's a really good meal. Tuna steaks are amazing. Go to Sam's Club. I went to Sam's Club like a few weeks ago. I got 4 tuna steaks, like big ass tuna steaks for 16 bucks. They look like normal steaks. They're probably, I bet you they were 6 ounces. So it's like a really good deal. It's $4 per tuna steak. And then I smoke it or I grill it just like a normal steak. And it doesn't have as much of like that fishy smell that tuna out of a can has. It's really good. Put some teriyaki sauce on it. It's really good. How do you know when to progress weight when doing giant sets? I mean, you kind of just set your own parameters. So I usually like to set a percentage range, 80 to 85%, and then give your rep target, 12 to 15 total reps at 80 to 85%. And then what I like to do is I like to cap rep count per set. So I say, you're capping yourself at 4 reps maximum per set, but you got 15 total reps at 80 to 85%. And then after doing one session, if you do a set of 4, a set of 4, a set of 4, that puts you at 12. And then if, let's say you're doing 15 reps and you do a set of 3, you got your 15 reps and you capped out each rep or each set, each mini set of the giant set. You know you can probably go up in weight. That's one way to do it. You can just use VBT. You can use RPE. You just kind of have to determine that for yourself. Just set the parameters. If the parameters you set are too easy, go up in weight. All right, moving on to the heavy dynamic isometrics here. Still working on the bottom end of the range of motion. I think next week I'm gonna raise the joint angles a little bit higher. I threw 310 on the bar, so I added a little bit just because I just tested it out at 305 and I thought it was a little too light. I want to be struggling when I get to the end of the set, so I got 310 on the bar, got a couple of sets here, and then I got chin-ups for the last thing of the day. So one thing with these that I feel like make a big difference in intent, obviously makes a big difference with intent, but it makes a difference in like the actual stress and the intensity of it is the acceleration portion. You're only moving it a couple of inches, but if you try to ramp up versus you go right away and then you hit those pins and there's like an abrupt stop, I think that way is much more effective. It definitely increases like the internal perceived intensity. So that's one thing that I'm trying to do is make sure I drive off the pins as fast as I can. Same thing when I'm doing the iso pulls. I don't try to slowly get to the pins, make contact, and then continue to drive. I go right away. Last thing of the day here, just gonna work up to a top set of 5 on the chins, then a couple of back off sets. Probably not gonna show you all of these, honestly. $25 is easy. I'm also going pronated grip because I still have that epicondylitis a little bit. I got some dry needling on it. I've used some BPC 157. It's helped a little bit, but it's still a little painful. 25 pounds was easy. I'll go 35 pounds next. That was probably good for a top set of 5. Yeah, so I'm just keeping the 10-pound plate on, a couple back off sets, doing three back off sets of 6 to 10. Eight and 3/4. That's it, guys. Not gonna show you anything else. So this is what I'm gonna have for lunch. You can see the 4 blue pieces of Tupperware in here. This is the chicken that I cooked. I got 2 full servings of chicken right here. I'll throw in some lefse, throw in some dry seasoning, throw in some cottage cheese. I'll show you what else I got in here. Got some venison sausage. This is just regular steak that we get at Sam's Club. This is a back strap right here that my friend shot of a deer he got. So venison backstrap. Bunch of eggs, cottage cheese, more cottage cheese, grapes, raspberries, whole milk for my daughter, all the kids stuff in there. Canadian bacon. This is a really good option. Lefse. If you guys don't know what lefse is, I didn't know what lefse was until earlier this summer. It's made out of potatoes. Really good carb source. Canadian bacon, very lean meat. Turkey, very lean meat. This is just some more venison in here, but eggs. I got some beef sticks in here. Beef sticks are basically as needed. So, yeah.